I'm about the elderly on this show. Someone has to support the elderly. I'm the old guy. I'm about bingo. I'm about staying regular. And I'm about LeBron James getting it done. I just think the Warriors are going to be worn out. There's no way they expected that series to go 7 against the Kings and to have to go on the road to close that out. And say what you want about Steph Curry. That was a virtuoso performance in Game 7. We dropped those 50 points. Never been done before in a Game 7 in the NBA playoffs, but that has to take it out of you. And we sort of tried to make this point yesterday when talking about the Sixers and the Celtics, is that the Sixers were the more well-rested team. And it's not just being more well-rested, it's also having more time to prepare for that Game 1. You have less time to prepare, obviously, between games, but when you're sitting out and you have an extra couple days, I think that makes me lean Lakers. Your sabotage factor is I do believe the Warriors are the better team. They were the best team at home against the number during the regular season. How much does that hold here? I'm not quite sure, but I do like the Lakers here.
I think I'm going to go back to first half bets. I think I like the Lakers in the first half because it almost feels like the Warriors have reverted back to their we're only going to turn it on when we need it. And especially coming off that Game 7 where they're emotionally drained. I think this is a game where they could come out sluggish and saying to ourselves, okay, well, we can turn it on in the second half if we need to, whatever. Meanwhile, I think the Lakers are chomping at the bit for this opportunity. This is a team that was really close to not even making the postseason. Now they're squarely in a matchup against Steph Curry and the defending champs in the Golden State Warriors. However, I will say this is a much different matchup for both of these teams because I thought the Lakers matched up really well with the Grizzlies, a team that kind of needs to get those rebounds. And also they didn't have Steven Adams down low. This is going to be really different because I think in the series, the Lakers are going to really have some trouble keeping up offensively. If the Warriors are bombing it away from the three-point line, I'm not sure if the Lakers can keep up. So maybe this is the one time where we bet on the Lakers. But for the series, I am still squarely on the Warriors.
Did this go down the way you thought it was going to go down? And is this what you think the Ravens need moving forward to finally sort of put it together if Lamar stays healthy?
Jinx, it's so funny. When you guys played the intro music, I'm like, oh, my God, they can play this, and I know that Lamar's going to be my quarterback. This is awesome. But, no, I was fired up. I'm excited. It's like knowing now that we go into the season with Lamar as the quarterback and not like Tyler Huntley or something. Like there's this new sense of belief. I think the Ravens roster is as good as any in the AFC. And obviously, even though their roster might be good, they still have to go through Burrow and Mahomes. But to answer your question, Jenks, the process was a little more drawn out than I would have liked. I think they played with fire a little bit. The Jalen Hurts deal was really the key. I think that was the whole key because all Lamar had to really go off of was the Deshaun Watson deal, and that's why he wanted the money and the guaranteed. But once Hurts came out, then the Ravens negotiated something just a little bit more than that, and I think that's what got him over the fence. So it was definitely a little untraditional, and they went with the non-exclusive, and they opened it up to other teams, but in the end, it all worked out. I'm glad he's back. And, I think the Ravens have a great shot this season if they can stay healthy.
Aaron Rodgers has longer odds to win MVP than Tua Tagovailoa. Do you think this is fair? Like, Tua put up big numbers last year when he played, but for somebody who we don't even know if he is fully capable of playing a full year without being able to fall right. Have you seen these videos of him practicing? He's like, yeah, I know how to fall now. I'm not going to get concussions. All right, Tua, but do you think this is fair that Aaron Rodgers has longer odds than Tua?
I think it's wrong, and I would put more money on Aaron Rodgers than I would on Tua. I like Tua. I'm really concerned with Tua's health. Seriously. He's having to work on this and fall the right way, and I hope he does. And I hope he figures this out, but I hope he learns how to fall appropriately in the NFL. But seriously, at some point, you've got to be very concerned about his future and how he's going to. Here's the thing. When it comes to Tua, I'm just not convinced. I'm just not convinced that he can make it through a season healthy. So I'm not going to put my money on anyone like that. There's absolutely no way at all the Heat can compete in this series without Jimmy Butler. He's the only reason why they're here, because Victor Oladipo is out, Tyler Hero is out. Those guys are done for the season. It's Jimmy, Bam Adebayo, Gabe Vincent, Alonzo Mourning. Like, I don't even know who the rest of their roster is right now. It's just Jimmy just carrying the load. And so if you're the Heat, and if you read the reports, Jimmy Butler has been receiving round-the-clock treatment. Why would you risk further injuring that ankle tonight when you've already got home court advantage in this series because you won game one? So I think if you're the Heat, unless you're Jimmy and somehow you can really go and be effective, because I think even if he plays, it's too soon, he won't be effective. I think you say, you know what, let's hold Jimmy out here. Let's give him an extra couple days to recoup and then go back to Miami and then put him back in the lineup. Because if he further injures this ankle, they are done ski.
Right. And if he further injures himself and he puts more weight on that ankle and they still lose the game, that's a lose-lose. So I think that you do the safe play, which is hold Jimmy Butler out, even though, don't you think that Jimmy Butler's probably going to put up a little bit of a fight? This is a guy that is very vocal, and I'm sure it's going to take a lot to keep him off the court. But if anybody can manage personalities, it's definitely Coach Spell. And I think he's got to talk some sense into him here, saying, hey, listen, this is a road game. We weren't expecting to win this one anyway. How about we wait till we're back at home? We have home court advantage. We've already stolen a game on the road. That's good enough. This is a 7-game series. Let's try to look at the bigger picture here. Because you're right, without Jimmy Butler, this is a Heat team that I'm going to have trouble backing. Even though I think this line may still have Jimmy Butler in it. Like, look at some of the lines that the Heat have had. Like, they are getting no credit in the market just because on the regular season alone. But if Jimmy Butler does not play, this is not a Heat team that I want to back.
Here is a headline I did not expect to read ever. Snoop Dogg is part of an ownership group, Chelsa, bidding on the Ottawa Senators. He's joining a group led by businessman Nico Sparks. The Senators could sell for an NHL record $1 billion. That would absolutely blow away the previous record. Snoop says on Instagram he wants to bring hockey back to his community. And if this goes through, he would be part of the first ever black ownership group in the NHL. But he's being challenged by another celeb, the Remington Group, which is headlined by actor Ryan Reynolds. First of all, I can't believe Snoop Dogg is getting involved in hockey. Second of all, who would you go with here? You going to roll with Snoop Dogg? You going to roll with Ryan Reynolds?
I think it's two good options, right? Because both of these guys have proven that they are good at marketing and they're good at business. Like, we can laugh about Snoop Dogg all you want, but how many places have you seen him other than just music? The other day, I was listening to music with my 3-year-old, and guess who comes on the shuffle? Snoop Dogg singing Head, Shoulders, Knees, and Toes. He does kids music now.
Oh my
so
God.
Somebody who's had his foot in so many, or had his hand in so many baskets. We saw the stuff with Martha Stewart where he did all these TV shows. So I think that he has a shtick, and we all know it's like, oh, Snoop's high, whatever. But he also is very good at marketing himself. And then looking at Ryan Reynolds, doesn't he own a soccer team that just got promoted?
He does.
So both of these guys have proven that they are not just celebrities, they are not just figureheads, but they are very good at marketing and they're good at business. So I think it'd be a good option if either of them buy the team here.
It's only going to be a matter of time before Snoop just comes out with a whole catalog of children's music. Like Ring Around the Rosie.
Probably
Here's
does.
another one. Yeah, he probably does. He's in everything right now. And just imagine Snoop as part of an ownership group for the NHL. That cat is going to be in the stands in his box, drinking Coronas, smoking a blunt, just enjoying the atmosphere. I'd have to roll with Snoop Dogg here. I like Ryan Reynolds, man. But who doesn't want to hang out with Snoop Dogg? Like, he's always the coolest guy in the room, I feel like.
The coolest guy in the room. Ryan Reynolds is married to Blake Lively, who is like number one on like girls, crush list or whatever, your girl crush. But is there ever a sports team that's sold that's lost money? Like, doesn't this feel like the best investment, especially in like the main leagues? I feel like these teams just go up and up.
They do. It's a great investment just because sports continues to grow and grow and grow. And now you have sports betting, which is another arm, which is why we're doing this show. I'm sure there is an outlier, but for the most part, look at Daniel Snyder. He bought the Commanders for $800 million when they were the Redskins, and now he's about to get paid $6 billion. It's ridiculous. Also, I'm always hanging out with Snoop.